the faction of the Labour Party, that is Abayomi Arabambi, who responded by saying that Mr. Obi has his own discrepancies in certifications that he needs to answer for before calling for anybody else to clear their own identity. Can you speak to these discrepancies as alleged by Mr. Arabambi?
Quickly, let me thank you so much for having me. And yesterday, while our principal was speaking, he announced to the whole world that he's going to present his CV to the Nigerian populace, and including his academic credentials, which he did. Right now, as we speak to you, you can easily open up your network and Google on the Twitter handle of the campaign manager of the Obi Dete Presidential Campaign Council, where he attached my own name. You will see the document of Peter Gregory Obi openly displayed, which can be verified by anybody. So where anyone is asserting that there are discrepancies, I challenge that particular person to make publicly the discrepancies, and we are willing to answer immediately. We are not going to go to United States of America to confirm or find out the authenticity of the document of Peter Gregory Obi. All you need to do is just travel down the line to Onitsha, and then you get the confirmation that you require. So we are publicly open for any debate or accusation on our credentials. And so therefore, there is no ambiguity as regard to the credential of Peter Gregory Obi. And I want to say here, it is very important to go down the memory lane. In 1999, Chief Gani Fawahimi of blessed memory took an issue of two individuals, Salisu Buhari, the seventh Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the issue of certificate forgery. Now, publicly, it didn't take Salisu Buhari some weeks. He took the path of honor and he resigned. In fact, he was crying publicly as to apologizing to Nigeria for taking them through this particular harsh position as at that time. And Chief Gani also did the same with the issue of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but probably because Buhari does not have the manipulative capacity to have stayed in office to that particular point in time, he resigned honorably, and then he left the scene. And I wish people can take the path of honor to save Nigeria this particular grievous road to disgrace and integrity, if there's any value left in the word called integrity for us anymore, especially for our leaders who have found themselves in position of power and feeling that nobody can do anything to them, laying a foundation of lack of trust, belief, and then value in our educational system or our laws. And that portends danger for our democracy in a very short and long time period. This is a caution that we need to take as a people. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether you are a Hausa or Yoruba or an Igbo man. The fact is that we're talking about integrity here, and which all of us need to have as people and as a leader. It's unfortunate that today the issue of our leaders have been dragged to the mud, and they cannot take the path of honor to address this particular issue just for the interests of our country. It is a shameful situation in which we found ourselves at the moment.
We hear you, Dr. Tanko, but we understand right now that the ruling party, that's the APC, has asked the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to investigate your principal and Atiku Abubakar over their comments on the allegation of forgery against the president. I'm just wondering what steps you might be taking as a regard of this call, or what steps you plan to take.
Like I said, we are obedient, as our name is. obedient in the form that we are disciplined Democrats. Our principal have made it very clear in order not to talk about issues that are in the domain of our court, but rather speaks to issues that concerns the country in general. And I want to believe that was exactly what Atiku Abubakar also did. But in any case, this particular leadership or the party APC have been known for an intolerance as regard to issues when they are being challenged on something that they know, they themselves know that they are wrong. And I remember with nostalgia, they were very good in castigating the government of President Goodluck Jonathan to a point in which the present president was calling President Goodluck Jonathan a drunken fisherman. And nobody accused them of undermining or calling the president enemy or threatening them with the position of power. For us, we cannot be threatened, neither can we be intimidated. We are Nigerians, and we follow the rules of laws of engagement. We have made our position known. All we did was ask Mr. President or Chief Bola Tinubu to reintroduce himself to the Nigerian people, because the issue of his certificate and his identity has been an issue for over 24 years in running. In other cases, some of these particular cases, he has been able to escape it under the disguise of our laws, but it is coming to a final end now, and that final end now stopped at his table. And that was why our calling was directly to him, to come out publicly, to tell Nigerians who he is, where was he born, which state does he come from, what was his record, where did he go to primary school, where did he go to secondary school, where did he finish as the university, and when did he finish, where did he serve, if he did serve the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and at the same time to give us his nationality identity. It doesn't take anybody any long period to do such a thing. Peter Obi just exemplified by just telling everybody where he belongs and where he comes from. Under 5 minutes, you are done with it. So we are urging President Tinubu, as we are at the moment now, to come out and clear the air and save the Nigerian people the pain and pang of thinking that they don't even know who their president is. Whether in the 25 years or 24 years, he has been somebody else, he only needs to just come and tell everybody who he actually is. There's no harm in telling the truth. In fact, it only sets you free. And that is exactly what we are asking, what our principal is asking him to do. And I don't think he should shy away from it. Rather using anybody to come and defend him or tell the people that this, who is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a simple task that anybody can present it. We are open to the challenge. And if anybody want to go and investigate our candidates, as the case may be, we are more than open. In fact, our document for confirmation, they can go and verify.
Right, we just have 1 minute left, but very quickly, Dr. Tanko, when the presidential candidate for the PDP, that's Atiku Abubakar, called for partnership from other opposition parties, he was met with reluctance. That's concerning this issue. Why this vocality about this issue now, when initially there was reluctance to join Mr. Atiku Abubakar's call for everyone to rally concerning this issue? Some are accusing Peter Obi of jumping on the bandwagon. They're saying that he's trying to take Atiku's thunder. So why this timing now?
The only thing that they are afraid of is the fact that Peter Obi has spoken. That is the truth about it. Let's be very clear. When the whole issue started, we took our case to the court. We laid the issue of qualification of Mr. Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can check, it's on record. We made that particular challenge. It is there in our prayers. So it's not about anybody who start it. At the moment now, and it is very important to make this clearly, there's never a time in which Peter Obi said he was not ready to more or less like work in the regard to save Nigeria. And he said it yesterday, whether you invite him or not, he is already in it. because the issue has gone beyond politics. It's about the sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And anybody who is interested in governing this country must, as a matter of fact, must be in front of this particular struggle to emancipate the Nigerian people. So as far as we are concerned, we are not joining any bandwagon. In fact, we are driving that particular wagon.
Become a great country, and I see people that you once respected, you know, getting involved in all this rubbish, blaming other people for the carelessness of others. You know, it's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. But truth is, let them say their own, let us say our own. So let posterity judge all of us. You know. So you can see people, they are struggling to defend the indefensible, struggling on television, on social media. They will continue to struggle. Nobody is talking about whether a man went to school or not. That's not the argument. That's not the argument. All the things you submitted to INEC under scrutiny, were they genuine? The answer is no. Oh, but the school has said he graduated from, is that it? Anyone with common sense, simple common sense, will just apologize. Oh, we're sorry. We didn't know there was a mix-up. Even if people won't accept, it will be on record that you have apologized and you have atoned. But to be insulting Nigerians on top of it is the height of shamelessness. You tell Nigerians that he graduated from school. Is that what they are saying? Internationally, people under the position are saying that your president was a student in our school. No problem. But how did he get to your school? A record from a secondary school in Lagos who did not exist. That school did not exist. Government College Lagos did not exist before 1974. And you have a document in that file saying he finished school in 1970. I mean, why can't you simply apologize and move on? Like I said, it does not mean people will take the apology. But at least start from somewhere. You are insulting us. We should shut up because we are your friends. And you are allowing these boys who are just coming to collect peanuts, to insult everybody on social media. Oh, the school has said he graduated. Is that the argument? That he graduated. It's not about Atiku. It's no longer about Atiku. And I'm happy that Atiku has shifted the burden to Nigerians. It's no longer about him. If the Supreme Court finds the courage, fine, they don't, whatever, nobody cares any longer. Atiku has put his resources, has invested his resources in his belief, in his principle. And he has moved on. He has fulfilled all righteousness. What insult? He graduated trying to deflect. Yes, so Tinubu is my friend means that I should be culpable. I will defend a man who has the courage to apologize when you are wrong. Admit first that you are wrong. Anybody wants to kill you, let him come and kill you. I don't have anything against. It's easier for me to go with all the people who are swiling around him right now. But that's not me. To start with, I've not been an apostle of Tinubu's style of politics. Anybody who knows me knows. In the last 24 years, if you ever saw me in the same political party with him, I've never been a member of his party, whether ACN, APC, AD, no. Because there are things my body cannot take. Some people don't mind anybody. Some people can be voluntary slaves and all that. But he knows me that I'm not one of them. So I don't know why people are now angry and bothered. They support. What support do I have? Do I have more than one vote? He doesn't need me. He has more than enough people to defend anything he does. He has them shouting, on your mandate, we shall stand. So when people do that to you and turn you into a demigod, and then they will be able to defend anything, if those are the things you enjoy, then when these things then come with their repercussions, we can see it now. Anybody who wants to even forge for you, won't the person do a little research? You want to write that somebody went to Government College Lagos. They were so impatient, they could not even look at the dates of what they were writing. And you are not blaming others for that, for talking. Stop surrounding yourself with sycophants who don't know anything. There are more intelligent people in Nigeria who will advise you, go and find them, they're there. Nobody can justify forgery, nobody. Any lawyers know that anyway, so I'm sure people like Fadika, they know that they can't justify it. So that's why they are all keeping quiet now.
An appeal to the Supreme Court begging them to dismiss Atiku's petition and Peter Obi's petition against him, that they are all cooked up lies. He is begging the court that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal did not give wrong judgment, that upholding him as the president of Nigeria is correct because Nigerians voted for him. And Nigerians are already reacting to this. One man, you will not come out clean. You're always lying, even when the evidence is actually very clear. Before we go deeply into this, I would like us to like this video and please do to subscribe to this channel if you are yet to subscribe, so you get updates whenever we post a new video. See Tinubu's appeal as reported by Vanguard newspaper. They said, Atiku cooked up allegations against me. Tinubu tells Supreme Court. President Bola Tinubu has asked the Supreme Court to dismiss an appeal the 2023 candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, filed to nullify his election. Tinubu, in a 42-page brief of argument filed through his team of 17 lawyers comprising 10 senior advocates of Nigeria, urged the Appeals Court to affirm what he termed as a well-considered decision of the Court of Appeal, which, while sitting as the Presidential Election Petition Court on September 6, dismissed the joint petition Atiku and his party entered against him, while insisting that he was validly returned by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as the winner of the February 25 presidential poll. Tinubu told the Appeals Court that by statistics, he garnered 25% of the total vote cast in 29 states of the Federation. So this is what Tinubu wrote to the Supreme Court, that they should not mind anything that both Peter Obi and Atiku are saying to them, that they should uphold his victory as the president. Reacting to this person here said, breaking, Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu has submitted a request to the Supreme Court urging the dismissal of the appeal filed by Atiku Abubakar and His Excellency Peter Obi, who are contesting the outcome of the February 25 presidential election, which was characterized by rigging, intimidations, vote buying, late arrival of election materials, and disenfranchisement. Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu maintained that the appellant failed to substantiate the allegations and arguments presented at the tribunal that the election was rigged in his favor. Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu asserted that the tribunal's decision, which upheld his election, was correct and legally sound. Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu urged the Supreme Court to affirm the lower court's decision and dismiss the appeal entirely brought before it by Atiku Abubakar and His Excellency Peter Obi, including his certificate forgery saga. He just wrote to the Supreme Court to not mind what they are saying, to just go ahead and say, yes, he is the president, he won the election, and everything that people have been talking about the certificate is nothing, that it does not hold water. Who does that? He even had to say that it is false allegation against him. Another person here reacted and said, a certificate forger controlling judiciary. Nigerians, don't wait for Supreme Court. The judges there are criminals. Take back your country with force. Another person here said, and just like at the tribunal, he will win again. Good luck with bullying the judges as usual. And this is what we don't want to happen again, because at the end of the day, these Supreme Court judges might end up upholding what the PEP justices did. And this is not what Nigerians want at this point in time. We are just hoping that these people will indeed give us justice in this case. Another person here said, that's what we expected. It's left to the Supreme Court now to do the right thing or not. But it's the shamelessness for me. Either way, illegitimacy will not continue. Another person here says, so after the confirmation of forgery and identity theft, this man is still adamant. What kind of country does he and those working for him think they are fighting to create? God forbid them and rebuke them permanently. And that's it. What kind of country are they building? Is it a country that anything can go? CSU said under oath that they did not issue the certificate that you presented to INEC to you. You have not said anything about it. And now you are telling the Supreme Court that everything they have written against you and even the evidence that is very clear that they are all lies. Who does that? Another person here reacted and said, please remain focused, Peter Obi. It's either the Supreme Court side with integrity or go down abysmally. God is watching. He says, for I will walk a walk in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. And this person is actually quoting the scripture, and it says, Supreme Court, be warned. Another person here said, if you guys are waiting for the Supreme Court in Nigeria, just stop wasting your time. Their judgments will be worse than that of Samani and his gang of injustices. This person here reacted and said, this is the exact reason he gave to the judge in US, saying they shouldn't release his certificate because it will cause him irreparable harm. And that's it. You're always appealing and talking about what it will cost you. What about what is already costing the nation? That Nigerians outside and Nigerians that are planning to travel out and are treated as criminals. People will look at Nigerians to the face and tell them that they forged their certificates because their president is a forger. Another person here said, waiting for the Supreme Court to give equitable judgment on this same case might mean being fooled for the second time. This person here reacted and said, I don't see this Tinubu backing down without the Nigerian people occupying the streets to demand for his resignation. This man has committed the worst crime in the history of Nigeria. Another person here reacted saying, shameless man. Till now, he hasn't come out to debunk the news of his certificate forgery. Only what he knows is to urge Supreme Court for dismissal of Atiku's case against him. He is seriously joking. Supreme Court should ask him one question. How did you procure the CSU certificate and which enabling entry qualification did he use? For INEC, why is 18,088 polling unit results not uploaded? And these are valid questions. Another person here said, of course, he owns the Supreme Court. If at all we want something to change, then we have to bring about the change, not sit down and wait for corrupt institution to write things. Is not going to work, my people. Another person here said, so Nigeria now have a president that can't stand before the world, that doesn't have or boast of his certificate and also the school he attended. Nigeria doesn't know the school he attended. How can Supreme Court back him up with all this fraudulence? The world is watching. And that's it. With all this evidence before the Supreme Court, we just hope that they will not end up affirming his illegitimacy. How will people that you are ruling not know about you? They will not know the school you graduated from. You say releasing your certificate will cause you irreparable harm, and it was released, and it shows that you forged that certificate, and now you are telling the court that everything before them is a lie. Are the judges not Nigerians? Did they not see the deposition from CSU? Another person here said, would the opposition members in houses and states just be silent? What could they do to reduce the current damages, even for now and subsequently? Winning is not a one-term planning unless you can see beyond now. I am afraid we have not started building a formidable force. I will never support doing the wrong thing, like the justifying of Hamas' wrong invasion of Israel. There must be international ways to correct the show of shame of forgery, etc. dominating Nigeria. How can the current PDP and other parties in the House correct the narrative? He won't resign, no iota of shame. He never went to school and claimed to be the best student, where drug lord will bribe anyone, but he can't bribe God. This I am sure. Also reacting to this person here said, that's expertly what will happen. They will throw the appeal of Obi and Atiku out of the window for lack of merit on the side of the judiciary. How can a corrupt judge give good judgment when a thief and drug baron is controlling them? Don't expect much. Another person here reacted saying, Nigerians need to be divided because there is no law in Nigeria. Judiciary is just a name and not following the constitutions. They are corrupt. In fact, Nigerian army should be ashamed of themselves, seated and seeing what is going on in Nigeria by politicians as if they are watching movies. And that's it. Nigeria, there is no law. It's not looking like anything can go. And it is painful. Just imagine what the PEP's justices did. And now he's telling the Supreme Court judges to do the same thing that the PEPs did. Another person here said, I am trying my possible best to figure out if this man is bigger than Nigeria. Another person here reacted and said, if this so-called Nigeria was a good country, I don't think this man called Tinubu will still be in that seat up to this time. The country is not organized, and now nobody can ever take that seat from him. But what we are fighting for is that the right thing must be done, which is that he forged his certificate, and according to the constitution, anyone who forged their certificate will be disqualified. And we've seen people that had to resign because of the certificate forgery. So there's nothing special about him. And then other evidence too before the court is capable of removing him. This person here reacted and said, Tinubu has already struck a deal with the Supreme Court even before the election took place. You think he stopped his election buying at INEC or appeal court? If I was the one that forged my certificate, I would be in prison by now because the court won't hesitate to give their judgment. Now, the rich and mighty is involved. The opposite is now the case. If Supreme Court dismiss their appeals, that implies Nigeria is heading to failed state, as some people have claimed. And that's it. If at the end of the day, the Supreme Court dismiss all of this evidence before them, it will show that what we are doing in Nigeria is just child's play. Because with this heavy evidence, it's capable of disqualifying him. Another person also reacted saying, it's funny how the judiciary will let such government stand. If you let someone who forged his certificate to be your president, then your certificate will be doubted sooner than later. And it's already happening. Many people, especially the foreigners, are already doubting the certificates that Nigerians are presenting. Another person here said, and this is what the Supreme Court will do. He instructs them to affirm his victory, and Supreme Court will do that. A failed nation. As for me, I have no hope in the Supreme Court because they are not going to do the right thing. Nigeria as a country, once you are connected and wealthy, you are above the law. Only God can help this nation. Chief Tinubu is getting away with a lot of constitutional infractions. The precedent sets is not good for our constitutional democracy. And that's it. This will not become the norm. Because if he escapes this now, nobody will come out tomorrow to sack anybody because of a false certificate. It will become the standard. And that's actually not going to be good for our constitution. It's not going to be good for our judiciary. It's not going to be good for the future of our nation, Nigeria. Another person here said they have started with their usual madness again. How can one man buy over our judiciary and have them trivialize everything that is happening in the country to make him look good? Atiku wouldn't have won the case in Chicago if he had sued Tinubu over the same issues in Nigeria. And this is actually true. If Atiku has filed that case in Nigeria, believe you me that our judiciary will not allow him to get those certificates from CSU. But filing it in the US court, no matter the appeal that Tinubu was making, they were able to give him the go-ahead, and they told Chicago State University to release it and also to release the documents and to swear under oath. Just imagine it. All we can just do as Nigerians is to hope for better, that the Supreme Court will for the first time do the right thing. Another person here said Tinubu asking Supreme Court to dismiss appeal against him is so cheap. Whatever Supreme Court decides has become the law. Let them legalize forgery, INEC impunity, also discountenance the use of beavers and IRF porters and killings at the polling booths. Nigeria will not and cannot get better with this type of leaders we have. How can you call yourself a leader and you are afraid of criticism, social media, etc.? You are asking Supreme Court to dismiss Atiku's case because you are a demigod. And that's how it's looking like. Anything Tinubu says, they run out to carry it out, just the way the PEP justices did. Another person here reacted saying, who is Tinubu? Oh, you mean the certificate forger whom Nigeria don't know his real identity or gender or nationality, that wants to impose himself on Nigerians? Amuda Ogunlere Yekini Sangodele, aka Tinubu, you don't fail woefully. This person here also reacted saying, public service announcement, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima must be disqualified by the Supreme Court on the ground of certificate forgery. The 1999 Constitution is clear on what must happen. I call on fellow Nigerians to join me in calling for their disqualification. Save the democracy in Nigeria. The Constitution of Nigeria should be amended. People should not be in court while others are inaugurated. In 1999, the Speaker of the House of Reps, Salisu Buhari, resigned due to certificate forgery. In 2018, Kemi Adeosun stepped down as finance minister due to fake NYSC certificates. In 2023, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been confirmed to have forged the Chicago State University diploma certificate he presented to INEC. Nigerians expect Tinubu to be sacked by the apex Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court does not remove Bola Tinubu for submitting a forged certificate to INEC, then shut down the courts and tell Nigerians that their democracy is dead. Calling for the disqualification of Bola Tinubu and Kashim Shettima is a national patriotic act, and no one should be afraid to say it. If they fail to leave that office, they will become the enemies of the country. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that's it. If the Supreme Court fails to do the right thing, then we know that in Nigeria we don't have law. That's it, because it's not a country that anything can go. If at the end of the day, it is confirmed that this person forged his certificate and you don't want to disqualify him, he's appealing to you now to not listen to what Peter Obi and even Atiku has filed, to not listen to it, to not even mind the CSU, the position and all of that. And if you go ahead to do that, we will now know that in our nation, Nigeria, there is no law, that is a place where anything can go. But all we will keep saying at this point in time is that if Supreme Court should, for the first time, do the right thing and give Nigerians justice. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Please do well to share your thoughts about the video in the comment section. Please do well to like this video, and please do well to subscribe to our channel so you get notifications whenever we post new updates.